So, I mentioned fall 2011 permanent facilities, a little bit of a challenge, right? So the reason we're calling you out here today is we need everyone to bring their tents to the school site, and that's, all right, so tents are not an option. So we looked around and we started to look to see what our options are. Is anyone here familiar with Banks Trail Middle School? Let's see a show of hands. Anyone heard of Banks Trail Middle School? All right, someone tell me, someone shout out from that crowd, what is Banks Trail Middle School? That's right, folks. Fort Mill has got a brand spanking new middle school that I went down to the job site and spoke to the superintendent there. He's like, we'll be finished in June. And the Fort Mill School District has announced that they do not have the funding necessary to staff it. So on Thursday, I met with Dr. Keith Calicut, the superintendent of the Fort Mill School District. He is leaving this year, but I also had the opportunity in the same meeting to meet with Dr. Chuck Epps, who's the incoming superintendent. The proposal I made to him was quite simple. Gentlemen, for $500,000, we will lease that facility from you for the 2010-2011 school year. Fort Mill is facing a significant budget shortfall. Needless to say, they're very open to the idea. So on Friday morning, I delivered a letter to them that they then forwarded on to the Fort Mill School Board for consideration. And I just want to take a moment to read you a couple of paragraphs from this, so bear with me. Our proposal is to lease for $500,000 the Banks Trail Middle School for the 2010-2011 school year. This is a win-win situation, as the $500,000 may be used to lessen the Fort Mill School District's budget shortfall while providing your preparatory academy ample time to construct its permanent facilities. Then I go on and I say, I hope you and members of the Board of Trustees for Fort Mill will favorably consider this proposal. By working together, we will save jobs in the Fort Mill School District, ensure YPA can move forward with hiring 60 teachers for its staff, and bring other construction-related jobs to your county. Perhaps more importantly, it will demonstrate to our community, state, and nation how public charter schools and traditional public schools can work together to solve problems and to further the education of our children. So, I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that has a lot of momentum there. But I am not going to put all my eggs in one basket and the worst of the board. So also earlier in the week, we met with Reverend Matthew James, who is the pastor of the church that ran the Trinity Community Christian School over on University Boulevard. They have a facility that is now sitting vacant. We spoke to them and basically have a handshake agreement that we will work on options to use that facility if necessary. Their facility poses a little bit more problem, a few more problems. One, we'll have to pour a considerable amount of money into it in order to get it up to code so that we can have a public school there, and it's also smaller. It only has about 450 students, so we'd have to use modular buildings to come in there to augment it. That's a backup plan. There's also a third one that we're going to pursue this week. Anyone from York here? Right, is York opening up a brand spanking new high school? All right. I know that there's a class in one of the buildings that has about 51 classrooms that they're moving those students to the new high school, and they're planning on backfilling that building with kids from other places. Well, $500,000 in a time of budget shortfall might cause them to pause and say, you know what, maybe we'll leave those other kids in those other facilities for this 1 year and allow YPA to come in here and lease this facility for that amount of money. And let me note that that amount of money is, think about the amount of money that you spend on your mortgage payment. While our school is being constructed, there is no mortgage payment. We're not having any money coming out of pocket. The interest that accrues during the construction period just goes into the principal, like when you build a house. So for us, it's part of our operating budget to take those funds and use them to lease the space. So we have one solid option, we have a good backup option, and we're going for a third option. So my reason for telling you this, folks, is that your preparatory academy, come hell or high water, I believe is going to open this fall. We've got options, we've got a student body, we know what the funding is that the state's going to provide, and we've got a budget that works within those numbers. So I want you to leave here today fully aware of all the risks that are associated with it, but feeling confident that we have a plan. So if you ask, why didn't we come to you sooner with this, or why did you call it a meeting of such short notice, that is the reason. We were working feverishly this week to present this to you, to give you confidence so that you stay with us.